Hi, this is Farrell. Welcome to my video channel thing. I put this thumbnail on here from the last issue, issue 2, and then this is the new working thumbnail I had. That was the first one I did. I'm redoing this whole thing where I'm doing these issues as 20-page issues rather than 32-page issues. So I kind of had to shuffle some things around. So I needed to come up with a new inside front cover, and then that was kind of more of a refined thumbnail, and basically me re-thumbnailing. I'm re-thumbnailing the whole thing. So I was able to take the last 6 pages from issue 2 and make them work for this issue. So that's why you see on the right hand side I have what was 26, or what was page 26 from issue 2 to now. That it was the last page, issue 2. So now it's the page 1 of issue 3, and we're starting from there. So I have 6 pages from issue 3 done, but I realized I needed to do an inside front cover for issue 3, and I was planning on doing these all as spreads, but I didn't want to have to redraw the first page, and I didn't want to have to add an extra page for the story in between those 2 pages. I probably could have done a double page spread, but it felt like just kind of unnecessary. Oh, here I am doing a little warm-up doodle that I didn't finish. It's still sitting on my desk because I kept erasing it, but I just kind of wasn't in the mood to draw on Robot Todd, and I was like, I just want to draw like a character from It Will All Hurt. So I was trying to draw Gideon because I was thinking about including him in the Robot Todd comic, but then I gave up and went back to doodling on this. I was just trying to get like an idea. The reason I included that thumbnail from the last issue was that it was kind of like an abandoned composition, or I ended up changing it, and I thought that would make a good opening inside front cover page. So this page I did something a little different because I was planning on doing this for issues 1 and 2, was to include the text, to actually write out all the text that Todd was saying at the beginning of each issue. Like I got this idea later after I'd already started issue 1, because I thought it was like, oh, that'll just be where all the printed stuff, like this issue, don't reproduce it without express permission from the artist and blah, 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 blah. But I thought it would be kind of fun too, also to do in tiny type, to include a little monologue by Todd in each issue, sort of like an opening, like, hey, I'm Todd, and I don't remember stuff, what happened to me, or whatever. It sounds, I think, a little better than that. I can't remember exactly what I wrote on there, but it's in my notes. So I'm gonna go back. Not probably. I'm definitely gonna go back and do the first 2 issues. But I probably won't put it on the original board. I'll probably just do it on a separate piece of Bristol or something like that. But I want to do it on this one just to kind of get an idea of like how big I need to make the lettering and stuff. I'm not even sure if I was left enough room for all that other stuff. I'm not even sure what the deal is with this book. I might just end up, I've talked about this before, but I might just end up doing like a crowdsourcing kind of thing with it, that maybe I can get like Floating World. They've helped publish some of my books before. Get them to put it out. I'm not sure what's going on with Image. So they're moving distributors and stuff, and so all my books are getting pulverized, or whatever you call it, liquidated, I think is the term. So all the stuff in the warehouse that I've been paying storage fees on because they haven't been selling. So if there are any retailers out there and want to get copies of my book for your store, it might be too late already, I don't know, but if you're doing the diamond order or whatever order distribution you use now, Ingram or what have you, you might want to get on that if you want any copies of my book, because I think they're all getting, I looked into getting them copies, just buying up the remaining stock, and it was just too much money. Some people offered to loan me the money, and I was just like, if they're not actually selling in the stores, it seems kind of silly for me to buy all these, image copies, when I could probably just, if I'm selling them myself, I might as well just be using like crowdfunding or something to do them, uh, rather than me just put up the money for them out of my own. Wouldn't even be able to buy all. I wouldn't. I'd have to borrow the money. But I don't want to go further in debt trying to do do this. So it just kind of made sense for me. I'll just do new books. In my old books, they'll still be there. I still have copies of them. And if demand is ever strong, like if this series is a hit, who knows? Like people might be like, hey, we want to be able to buy the Wrenchies now, or buy the It Will All Hurt and all that stuff. That was my idea too. You see that drawing that little car? I was thinking about adding that the shape of that 3 in the background to kind of extend, sort of give it like an illusion of a spread to extend to the other page. But after talking with my partner and stuff, I just decided like I'll just use this as like a single page image. I think it actually works pretty nice. It's just like a single page. once it's all finished and everything, I leave like a lot of the white of the paper on the lower bottom half of the page to sort of make it feel closer to the page on the right with a white border around it. Yeah, I was kind of wanting the text box to pop a little more in my original vision for it. I was thinking like, oh, I'll have that be white, like a word balloon, and then the rest of the background will be like darker to make that pop. But as I was working on this, I just decided it felt kind of good just to have it all just sort of fade into white. Like it kind of makes more sense with kind of what Todd's going through. With like the landscapes kind of shift and change throughout the story anyway. It has kind of like this sort of soft psychedelic feel to it, or that's what I'm trying to do anyway. Kind of like sort of like a marriage between the Wrenchies and It Will All Hurt, where it's like I kind of want the tightness of my the drawing from the Wrenchies in Robot Todd, but I like the sort of like this sort of kind of dreamlike psychedelic feel that it Will All Hurt has. That I'm trying to like combo those two with this book. But yeah. So, anyways, I'm using that pink gouache and the whole my set whole bean gouache. No, it's whole bean watercolors, and Carandash is the name of the gouache. All my materials are listed in the description. So if you go to the front of this video or whatever, if you're watching this video, if you just tap the description thing, it should all pop up with like links to various things like social medias or whatever, and my Patreon too, which I usually say that for the end of the video, but I have a Patreon. I figure like now's a decent time too, because I need new subscribers. I keep losing subscribers on my Patreon. I don't know why, and I'm not really getting a lot of new people on there. So I don't know. I was like posting every week. I've kind of, just because I was doing these sept drawings, which aren't in this video, which I have the book done. The sept book is done. I just haven't made a video of it yet. I was going to save that for my Patreon first. So if you do want to do $2 a month, you can go check that out. You can see here I'm asking my partner advice about what to do with the page. I put all the sept drawings that I did in one place on the last post, but actually made a book with like text and everything, which I haven't had printed yet. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with it. If I want to crowdfund that, I mean, I'm going to crowdfund that. It's not a matter of wanting to. I'm definitely going to do that. Just like I'm just trying to figure out like timing wise, how I want to release it, and I want to give Patreon people first access to it. And you can see here I'm using a hairdryer. I noticed when I was taking the tape off, the page was still pretty wet. And that's pretty much the finish. I did some Photoshop adjustments, not to the colors or anything. That's pretty much the raw scan there. But when you see the lettering here come up in a second, yeah, there it is. I darkened all that up and kind of cleaned up the lettering in this box here. I'm still gonna have to adjust that, kind of move it all around and kind of make it fit a little better in there. And there's the finished page by itself hanging out. I think it came out pretty good. Not trying to toot my own horn, but I was fairly satisfied, I guess, with this process and finish. There's most of my books. Monster Us, that book that I did with Soph, isn't on there yet. I have to add that to there. And there's my Patreon, Feral Dow. And you can get all original art at the Beguiling by me. And thanks for watching the video. Bye.